4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go backwards for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next up, we're going to do some thoracic rotations. Hands together, arms straight out in front of you. And from there, we are going to go ahead and open up 180 degrees. So starting here, going to open up 180. Make sure we're keeping an eye on our hand. Come back to the center, and then switching sides. Nice and controlled, making sure the rotation is coming from the core. Don't try to rotate the hips too much. Minimize the rotation in the hips. Open up the shoulders. Rotate along the mid back. Again, you're going to get these for 5 on each side. All right, once you're done with your 5, we're going to go into our step backs with the reach or with the hip flexor stretch. Basically, whatever leg we step back with. So in this case, it's going to be my right leg. Using the same side arm, my right arm, I'm going to go ahead and reach for the opposite side direction directly laterally to the side of me. Then I'm going to come back to the center, bring my feet together, and then switching sides. Let's go ahead and get these for 5 on each side. Go at your own pace. You do not need to rush it. If you do have an issue with the balance portion, you can just go ahead and go all the way down to the ground just like this and do the exact same thing. Just switch the knees every single time. But take your time. Again, let's go ahead and get these for 5 on each side. You should be feeling it in that hip flexor right in front of that hip. Sometimes reaching a little bit more behind you can get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Again, let's go ahead and get 5 on each side. But once you are done with your 5, we're going to go on the mat and we are going to go into some Spider-Mans. So basically, you got 2 options for these. You can go from the push-up position just like this or from the knees, whichever you prefer. But either way, we're going to do everything on one side. So we're going to bring our right foot to our right hand, and then we're going to bring our chest. Right now, my chest is facing down towards the ground. I'm going to lift my chest up to face in front of me. My arms are going to be extended here. I'm going to hold this for about a second or 2, and then I'm going to bring my feet back together behind me, or if you're on your knees, you're going to bring your knee back down, and you're going to go ahead and switch sides. Left foot up, chest up, drive the hips down towards the ground, not towards the ceiling. Hold for a couple seconds. Let's go ahead and get these for 5 on each side. Take your time with these. Again, you can go from the push-up position or from the knees. Either way, your knee's going to be down anyway, so I'll leave that up to you. But take your time. Make sure when you're driving that chest up, you're also opening up that hip and driving that knee out by squeezing that glute. So you don't want that knee to cave in as you're doing your Spider-Mans. Open up that hip. Get that stretch in that glute. Take your time, yep. Drive those hips forward. Again, it should be a subtle stretch. Nothing too crazy. Like, yeah, it's going to feel pretty tight, but it shouldn't feel painful. You shouldn't feel any kind of sharp pain. If you do, ease up on it. Don't drive the hips as far down, or maybe bring the leg a little bit further back. But take your time. Let's go ahead and get 5 on each side. All right, next up, we're going to go into world's greatest stretch. Similar idea, but this time from the hands and knees, we'll go ahead and start. Right foot up to right hand. And then from here, we're going to bring the right forearm down. And then with the right hand, again, we're going to open up and reach for the ceiling. That'll be 1. And then right forearm's going to go back down to the ground. And let's go ahead and get these for 5. 5 on each side. 3. And then once you're done with your 5, you can go ahead and switch sides. 4. And 5. Switching sides when you're ready. If you're still working on your 5, that's perfectly fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, when you're done with your 5, we're going to hop on our back, and we're going to finish up with some glute bridges, but we're going to add in a little knee hug with it. So 1 foot's down, 1 leg is up, hands are going to be wrapped around 1 knee. What we're going to do, right now I'm easing up, but as I go into my glute bridge, as I lift my hips up with my left glute, I'm going to also pull my right knee up towards my chest. I'm going to hold it for a second. I'm going to come back down, ease up on the knee. And when I'm ready, I'll come back up. We're going to get these for 5 on each side. So when you're ready, up into our glute bridge, pull the knee to your chest, hold, controlled coming down, ease up on that knee, and go back up when you're ready. So it'll be 2, just 5 on each side. So hold that glute bridge position up top for about a second or 2. 3, 4, and 5. When you're ready, you can go ahead and switch sides. Same exact thing. This time we're going to be pulling our left knee up towards our chest as we bridge up. It's 2. Take your time with these. 3, 4, last one. And 5. Again, if you're still working, that's perfectly fine. But next up, we're going to go over the workout for today, going into block number 1. So like I mentioned before, 5 exercises. Each exercise will last for 35 seconds. We'll take a short 15-second rest in between each exercise. Exercise number 1 is going to be a goblet squat. Very simple squat exercise. Going to hold one dumbbell in front of you just like this, holding it like a big cup, like a goblet. And from here, we're just going to squat down nice and controlled. I'll let you go whatever pace you want. If you want to go a faster pace, a slower pace, whatever works for you. But again, keep in mind we're working for 35 seconds, so you don't want to do like a rep per second because that's a lot of reps to do for goblet squats. So pace yourself. Exercise number 2 is going to be lateral lunges. So if you haven't done lateral lunges before, recommend just going body weight. So basically, feet are going to be together here. We're going to step laterally to the side. One leg, in this case my right leg, is just bending forward and out. I'm hinging at my hips, kind of like a squat. And that's what's helping me move laterally. So I'm not physically leaning towards the right side. I'm just basically letting my right knee bend. And that's what's going to help my weight shift towards one side. I'll come back to center. And then same thing on the other side. Notice I'm not going crazy low. You don't have to go super low all the way down with the lateral lunge. Just go as far as that one knee will take you. And really take your time with these because you are stepping laterally to the side. You're transferring weight. You don't want to rush this exercise. Exercise number 3 is going to be a row, but we're going to be doing it with an eccentric focus. So you have 2 portions of your row. So imagine I'm holding my dumbbells, hinging. We have the concentric, where we drive the elbows back and squeeze the muscles behind us. And we have the eccentric, where we extend the arms, we get that stretch in the muscle. We're going to be focusing on the eccentric. So I'm going to row like I normally would, but instead of letting my arms go straight down relatively quickly, I'm going to go as slow as I can without stopping the dumbbell. So yes, I'm going slow, but I don't want to go down, stop, go down, stop. I want it to be one smooth motion, but as slow as I can. Once I'm down there, I'm going to drive my elbows back up, squeeze, and same process. So it's going to be a slower portion coming down. Exercise number 4 is going to be a floor press, but we're going to add a bridge position. So just like we've done before with floor presses, only difference, like the name suggests, is we're going to hold a glute bridge. So what you can do is get your arms straight up, shoulders back and down. From here, we're going to bridge up, squeezing the glutes, keeping the hips in line with the knees, in line with the shoulders. And from here, we're going to do our floor press while maintaining that bridge position, keeping that core tight. Let the triceps touch the ground lightly. Think about like you're kissing the ground. So gentle kiss to the ground and right back up. You don't want to slam your triceps on the ground. So take your time with those. Last but not least, we're going to do walkouts. We're going to start from a tall standing position. I want you to extend your arms up. From here, we're going to reach down for the ground towards our toes in front of us. We're going to walk out to this push-up position. Then we're going to walk our hands back. And we're going to stand tall and reach for the ceiling again. Again, working for 35 seconds. Go at your own pace for that one. But those are the 5 exercises. Any questions? No? All right. Let's go ahead and get set up. We are going to start off with the goblet squats. And we are going to go in 3, 2, 1. And we're on 35 seconds, goblet squats. Again, first exercise, so pace yourself. Don't rush the reps. Keep that dumbbell high up to your chest. Yeah, there you go. Good. Elbows tucked in, keep the weight close to you. You don't want to hold your weight too far out, too low here. Keep it nice and close, nice and high. This will be the best position for your dumbbell. A lot easier for your shoulders to support the weight here than it is lower or further out. So take your time and relax. Next up, we got our lateral lunges. Again, if you don't feel comfortable doing lateral lunges, either go without weight or do a variation. You can do backward lunges, usually easier. You can do lateral walks, whichever you prefer. But make sure we're staying safe with our movements. Let's be ready to go. And we're on. Again, we should be moving in a way that doesn't produce pain. If you're doing a squat, you're doing a press, and your joints are hurting, your elbows are hurting, try reducing the weight. Try reducing the weight, range of motion. Either way, whatever you have to do to minimize that pain. Ideally, you don't want any of that pain. Because even though it might feel okay for a couple rounds, couple sets, in the long run, it's not going to be okay. So make the adjustments, take that pause, think about how you're moving, and see if there's anything that you can do to make or to minimize that pain. Well, we got 10 more seconds. Next up, we got our rows. Again, strong hinge, back is straight. We're going to row, keep the elbows tight, going down. We're going to go nice and slow, and then we're going to come right back up. So slow and controlled coming down. Feel the lats stretch as you reach down. You control the dumbbells coming down. Take your time with these. Slow coming down. Sometimes holding this hinge position can be tiring in and of itself. So if you have to stand back up, shake it out, and then go back into your hinge, that's perfectly fine. And relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our floor presses with the bridge. So we're going to be holding that bridge position the entire time as we floor press. Again, keep it controlled. When you're coming down, try to let your elbows be at this 45-degree angle. We don't want to be in this T shape. But let's go ahead and get set up. And we're on. Glute bridge up, hold that bridge. Core stays tight. Light touch in the triceps. Again, like you're kissing the ground. And once you do, right back up. Don't let those dumbbells, or the weight of the dumbbells, I should say, make your triceps drop down really quickly. You should control it coming down. Core and glutes are tight. Now, if you can't hold the bridge position or you're getting tired, feel free to drop the bridge and keep going with the floor presses. And then when you're ready, you can always bridge back up and relax. It does take some endurance in the glutes to hold the hips up. So it's perfectly fine if you can't hold that bridge. Bring it back down if you need to. But that was round number 1. Let's go ahead and get ready. Oh, sorry. Walk-offs. Getting too excited over here. And we're on. I wish that was round number 1. Take your time. Again, reach for the ceiling, then reach down. Nice and controlled. Your goal is to try to stay as centered towards the mat as you can. Keep the hips as square as possible. Abs are engaged. Stand tall, reach for the ceiling, and then right back down. And relax. Now that's round number 1. We're going to go back into our goblet squats. Again, make adjustments to the weights as needed. Go heavier, go lighter, whatever you need to do. But let's be ready to go. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Goblet squats. Nice and controlled. Only go as deep as you can with the squats that you feel comfortable moving. Don't force any extra range of motion, especially if it means you have to compromise the position of your back or the position of your knees. We should feel nice and stable as we squat. So take your time. Almost there. and relax. Next up, we got our lateral lunges. Again, make adjustments as needed. Decrease the weight. Change the exercise if you need to. But we're almost there. Take your time. Again, if you need that extra rest, take it. Just because the timer goes off does not mean you need to go right then and there. Of course, that's the goal. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure we're staying safe. We want to push ourselves. We want to challenge ourselves. But we don't want to put ourselves in a position to get hurt. So if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, feeling tired, take that extra pause. Don't rush it. We're almost there. Let's finish strong. Again, take your time with these. You're shifting your weight left and right. So you want to make sure you're in control. And relax. Next up, we got our rows. So with the rows, I'll leave it up to you. You can have the elbows tight to the body or at this 45-degree angle. It's completely up to you. Well, let's be ready to go. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Slow coming down. Make sure that your dumbbells kind of stay in line with your midfoot. You don't want your dumbbells to reach too far out in front of you. You want to keep it relatively close to your legs. Again, the further weight is out from your body, the more tension that gets put on your lower back. So if you feel like your lower back is burning, try bringing your weights a little bit closer to you. That might be the problem. But take your time, slow coming down, strong squeeze, and relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our floor presses from the bridge. Again, try your best to hold that bridge position, but if you have to go back down, that's perfectly fine. Try to keep the floor presses moving. Well, let's be ready to go on the ground. 3, 2, 1, bridge up and hold here as we do our floor press. Again, core, glutes stay tight, strong bridge position. When you're coming down with your dumbbells, try to have those elbows at that 45-degree angle. We don't want our elbows pointed towards the side, directly towards the side, I should say. Should be at a 45-degree angle. Let's finish strong. And relax. Solid job. Last but not least, we got our walkouts. Again, start with reaching from the ceiling, then we'll reach down every single rep. Let's be ready to go. Finishing up round number 2. First round's always the hardest. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Walk out to push-up position. Again, try to keep those hips as square to the ground as you can. Minimize the rotation. Core stays tight. Take your time. Take whatever pause you need to. Keep the abs tight. And relax. All right, one more round to go. We're gonna go back into the goblet squats. Again, adjust the weights as needed. Heavier, lighter, whatever we need to do. But this will be our last round. So let's finish strong. We ready to go? 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Nice and controlled. Again, keep that weight close to you. Keep the elbows tight to the body. Don't let the elbows go too far forward. Almost there. Again, you're in control of the tempo. You can go as slow as you need to, as fast as you need to. Either way, let's make sure we have stability with our squats. And relax. We got our lateral lunges next. Let's be ready to go. Take your time. 10 more seconds of rest. Again, adjust the weights. If that last set felt pretty challenging, go lighter if you need to. So let's be ready to go. And we're on. Nice and controlled. as we laterally lunge. Take your time with these. You can take a pause between reps if you need to. You can drop the weights halfway through if you need to. But either way, we're going to finish strong. And relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our rows. Eccentric focus, so slow coming down. Almost there. 10 more seconds. Let's finish this round strong. Be ready to go. Let's get our dumbbells in hand. And we're on. Strong hinge. Slow coming down. Make sure you're keeping the abs tight. Having the abs tight is what's going to help support that lower back as well. So really focus on keeping the abs engaged as you're doing your row, as you're extending those arms. And slow coming down without stopping the weight. And relax. Next up, we got our floor presses. 2 more exercises for the round, and we'll get a nice water break. But let's be ready to go. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bridge up, hold, and then we'll go into our press. Keep that bridge by keeping the core and the glutes tight. Light touch with the triceps on the ground. Trying to stay as centered as you can. Hold that bridge. Pace yourself. And relax. Last but not least, we got our walkouts. Last exercise for the round. Let's go ahead and finish strong. Almost there, almost there. 10 more seconds, and then we'll get a water break after this one. Be ready to go. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Walking out to that push-up position. Walking back up, reach for the ceiling. Stand tall up top. Squeeze the glutes to drive the hips forward as you stand tall. Almost there. Let's finish. Let's finish. We're almost there. And relax. Solid job, everyone. That was block number 1 down. 2 more to go. Grab some water, get some air. Looking good, looking strong. 45 more seconds, and I'll go over the next 2 exercises. 30 more seconds. Solid job, everyone. Stretch out if you need to. If you're tightening up, go ahead and stretch out. But next up, same deal, 5 exercises. Exercise number 1 is going to be an RDL. So we're working on the hinge. Again, holding weights in front of you, standing nice and tall, chest up, shoulders back. From here, we're going to be moving the hips backwards. So again, think about this as a horizontal movement. So shooting the hips back, keeping the feet glued to the ground. I don't want your feet or your toes to lift up. I don't want your heels to lift up. Keep it nice and flat to the ground as we drive the hips back to get that stretch in the hamstrings, and then standing tall by squeezing the glutes. Use whatever weight you want to, or you don't even have to use weight, but either way, focus on going as far back with the hips as you can, and then squeeze the glutes to drive the hips forward. And we're gonna have a pause with that, most important part. So we're gonna hinge, hold for about a second or 2, and then we'll stand tall. So a pause RDL. Exercise number 2 is going to be alternating shoulder presses. So we're going to hold both dumbbells up. We're going to start in this position here, palms facing us. And from here, we're going to press with one arm at a time, nice and controlled. So as I press, I'm rotating my dumbbell. So my palms are starting facing me, but as I press up, my palms are going to face forward. And as I come back down, they're going to go back to that starting position. And again, we're going to be alternating the press every single rep. Exercise number 3 is going to be a split stance rotation. So we're going to be in this split stance position just like this. Knees are just slightly bent. You don't have to go super low or anything. Just slightly bent. Back foot, I'm on my toes, heels off the ground. From here, we're going to hold a dumbbell. Whatever leg is forward, in this case, it's my left leg. I'm going to go ahead and stay upright here. I'm going to rotate towards that left side, almost to like a 45-degree angle. That's as much as I'm rotating. Key point with this one, when you're rotating, you want to make sure it's coming from the core. So you're rotating along the spine versus just the arms. So we're not moving the arms, we're moving the entire body. Nice and controlled. And we're going to get these for half the time. So however many reps you get for half the time, even it out on the other side. I'll let you know when to switch. Exercise number 4, it's going to be our T's to snow angels. So either lightweight or no weight. We're going to go ahead and start with palms facing each other. We're going to open up to this T position. Once I'm here, as far back as my shoulders will bring me, I'm going to go up and then back down, making a snow angel. I'm going to bring my hands back together, and I'm going to repeat the process. Go back into the T, set my shoulders back as far as I can go, up, down, and back to center. Go slow with these. I don't expect you to go like super fast with the reps. Take your time with them. Last but not least, we're going to do some pull-throughs. We're going to be in the plank position. Dumbbell is going to start on one side, whatever side we're trying to bring the dumbbell to. So a dumbbell starting on the right, I'm going to move it to the left. I'm going to use that same side hand. So I'm trying to bring my dumbbell to the left. So I'm going to use my left hand, come back down, bringing it to the right. So I'm going to use the right hand. Goal is to try to keep the hips as square as you can. So have a little bit of a wider stance. Don't have your feet too close together. Wide stance. If you can't do it from the tall plank position, just go ahead and you can do the same thing from the knees here. Same idea. Whatever side you're moving the dumbbell, you're going to use that side hand. Keep the core tight, minimize the rotation. But that'll be the last exercise. Any questions? No? All right, let's go ahead and get set up. We're going to go into our pause RDLs. And we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're on. Pause RDLs. Again, hinging at the hips, shooting the hips back, hold at the bottom, and then strong squeeze coming back up. You're just holding for about a second or two. Feel that maximized stretch in the hamstrings, and then squeeze the glutes to stand tall. Again, only going as far as the hips will move backwards. Once those hips stop moving backwards, you can go ahead and stop right there, because any extra range of motion is going to start to come from the lower back, which we're trying to minimize. Again, try to keep the feet flat to the ground and relax. Next up, we got our alternating shoulder presses, starting with the palms facing each other. As we press, palms will face forward, and we're going to alternate every single rep. So after one rep, you're going to switch to the other side. Well, let's go ahead and be ready. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Nice and controlled. Take your time with these. Lots of reps. Again, just like any other movement, keep those dumbbells close to your body. Don't let the dumbbells get too far out. Don't let the dumbbells get too low here. Keep the dumbbells high. Core stays tight. Trying to stay as centered as we can. Minimize any kind of leaning or rotating. Brace the abs. And relax. Try to finish on the opposite side that you started with. So if you started with the right, try to finish on the left. But next up, we're going to do our split stance rotations. Again, weight is completely optional. But either way, split stance position, whatever leg is forward, we're going to rotate towards that side. So my left leg is forward. I'm going to rotate towards the left, 45 degrees, and then back to the center, keeping the abs engaged. You can almost kind of think of this like a Russian twist. We're using the obliques to bring you to the left and to bring you centered. Again, keep track of your reps because we're switching now. Even out the reps. Now, if your right leg is forward, you're going to rotate towards the right side. If you need extra time to even out the reps, that's perfectly fine. We'll go nice and slow with this. We don't want a forceful rotation. A solid job. Again, even out the reps, whatever time it takes. Next up, we got our T's with the snow angel. Again, the T is going to set your shoulders as far back as you can, and your goal is to try to keep those shoulders back as you go into your snow angel. Again, go slow with these. Hold each position for about half a second. So hold, up and hold, down and hold, back to center. And this is a good pace to be at. Don't go any faster than this. Again, if you are going to use weight, keep it really light. Nothing too crazy. Especially if it means that we can go a little bit further without weight. Hey, how's it going? Squeeze the shoulders back, up, down, and relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our pull throughs. Again, plank position, either from the tall plank position from your feet or from the knees. But again, dumbbell will start on one side. I'm going to start with the dumbbell on the right. So I'm going to grab the dumbbell with my left hand, bring it to the left side, and then switch from there. But tall plank, core stays tight. Take your time. Again, feet wider than shoulder width apart. Keeping the abs engaged. Control where you move that dumbbell. You don't want to drop the dumbbell and have it roll away from you. Keep it controlled. If you're here in class physically, you can use your mat, and that really helps minimize the roll of your dumbbells. Again, trying to stay as square to the ground as you can. Solid job. That's round number 1. 2 more to go. Pause RDLs are next. Again, subtle pause at the bottom. Get as far as you can with that range of motion, as far as your hips will take you. But again, don't let your toes lift up off the ground. Let's be ready to go. And we're on. Shoot the hips back. Get that stretch in the hamstrings. Squeeze the glutes to stand tall. Nice and controlled. Maximize that stretch in the hamstrings. Again, only as far as those hips will move back. Drive the big toe down into the ground. Don't let it lift up. And that's what's going to help you keep that tension in the hamstrings and the glutes. 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Solid job. Next up, alternating shoulder presses. Again, keep those dumbbells close. Keep them high. Whatever side you start with, try to finish on the opposite side. Adjust the weights as needed. 5 more seconds. Let's go ahead and get set with our dumbbells so we're ready to go. And we're on. Nice and controlled. Abs are engaged. Staying as centered as we can. Again, keep those dumbbells close. Keep them high. Don't let yourself lean. Don't let yourself rotate. Keep those hips right where they are. Again, pace yourself. You can take that pause at the bottom. Keep those dumbbells high. Try to finish on the opposite side you started with. And relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our split stance rotations. Again, split stance position here. If you're not using a weight, I recommend extending the arms straight out of here, just because it will provide a little bit extra challenge if you don't want to use a weight. Of course, if you are using weight, make sure you're holding it close and keep it controlled as you rotate. It's not a sudden twist. It's a controlled rotation. Really focus on using your obliques to create that rotation. And switch. Slow. And once you get to your center, go ahead and stop right there and then go in the opposite direction. Try to prevent yourself from going too far to the opposite direction. We're trying to stop at the center Don't let your weight travel past the center position. And relax. Next up, we got our T's to snow angels. Again, use that T to set the shoulders as far back as we can. Once you're there, try to maintain that position the entire time you go into your snow angel. So I'd rather you have a smaller wingspan or smaller snow angel up and down and keep your hands further back, then go really high up, really far down, but have your hands come forward. So really maximizing how far we can keep those shoulders back the entire time. And again, take your time with these. Nice and controlled. So even as I'm moving up, even as I'm moving down, I'm still squeezing my shoulders back. Almost there. And relax. Solid job. Last but not least, we got our pull throughs. Again, starting from the plank position. Make adjustments as needed. If you need to adjust the weights, you don't even have to use weights for this. You can kind of move an imaginary weight, basically touch the opposite side. If the only weights you have are really heavy, you might want to do that. But again, using the appropriate weight, whatever we can move while still maintaining a strong, stable plank position. Try your best to stay as square as you can. And again, if you have to go to the knees, that's perfectly fine. It's still going to be challenging. Almost there. Finish strong and relax. Solid job. 2 rounds down, 1 more to go. Almost there. Back into our pause RDLs. Let's go ahead and stand tall and be ready because we know this time goes by quick. I want you to be ready for your RDL. 3, 2, 1, and we're on. Drive the big toes down as you go down into that RDL. Don't let the toes lift up off the ground. Shooting the hips back as far as they can. Maximize that stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. Again, all the while keeping the big toe into the ground. Let's finish strong. Squeeze that glute to stand tall. And relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our alternating shoulder presses. Again, keep those dumbbells high. Don't let them sink down. Shoulders stay back and down the entire time. 10 more seconds. Going to go into alternating shoulder presses. Again, pace yourselves with these. You do not need to go every second with a rep. Take that pause at the bottom to re-brace. Think about how you want to move, how you want your shoulders to rotate as you press to get our dumbbells in the position we want them to. It's all about moving with intent. We don't want to go into autopilot. Very easy to do when we get tired. I want you to stay focused on how you're moving. We're going to finish this workout strong. Almost there. And relax. Solid job. Next up, we got our split stance rotations. Again, with weight or without. Controlled rotation towards the leg that's forward. So let's be ready to go. 5 more seconds. Get into your split stance position already. Be ready for that first rep. And we're on. Nice and controlled rotation. Again, we don't want it to be a quick rotation. It should be a controlled movement. Once you get back towards your center, stop at the center. Don't let it go past that center position. And switch. Take some extra time to even out the reps. Core stays tight. Nice and controlled. Again, take extra time if you need to even out the reps. A solid job. Next up, we got our T's to snow angels. Almost there. 2 more exercises for the round, and that'll be it for the block. Use this T's to snow angels to kind of catch your breath again. 3, 2, 1. Again, not meant to be a very tiring exercise. Just working on the mobility of our shoulders. Yeah, it's going to burn the shoulders, but shouldn't be too tiring. Use it to kind of recover and be ready for that last exercise, because that one is tiring. Almost there. 10 more seconds. Again, don't rush it. Use the T to set the shoulders as far back as they can go. And try to keep that position the entire time. And relax. Last but not least, we got our plank pull-throughs. Take your time. Again, adjust the weight, adjust the position, whatever we need to do. I rather use a lighter weight and keep myself square to the ground the entire time than go heavy and lose position. So make the adjustment as needed. Don't rush it. Again, in between reps, you're trying to brace the abs and prepare for that movement of the dumbbell. So don't move too quickly. Make sure you give yourself enough time to brace and be ready to shift the dumbbell. Almost there. And relax. All right, solid job, everyone. That was block number 2. One more block to go. Almost there. Grab some water, get some air. We're looking good. We're looking strong. Whew. Solid job, everyone. 12:45 is the time. Catch your air. 30 more seconds, and then we'll go over the last round of exercises. Alrighty. All right, last but not least, block number 3, same deal, 5 exercises. Exercise number 1 are going to be our hip shifts. We've done this one before in class. Basically, your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward, so you don't want to be angled out. And all we're doing is holding this subtle hinge position. So I'm not standing tall. I'm not squatting down either. It's just a very subtle hinge. And all I'm doing is moving my hips left and right. So I'm not lifting my feet off the ground. I'm just kind of shifting my weight or shifting my hips towards the left and the right. As I shift my weight to the right, you should feel it in that right glute. As you shift your weight to the left, you should feel it in that left glute. Now, that you can do it just like that, just your body weight. If you want to, we can use a dumbbell, and basically whatever side we're shifting to, I'm going to move my dumbbell towards that side with the opposite arm. So if I'm shifting to the left with my right arm, I'm going to move my weight towards my left leg, and from here we're just going to switch sides, and I'm just kind of passing my dumbbell between the hand. Now again, notice I'm keeping the same level. I'm not going up and down. I'm literally just shifting my hips side to side while keeping the weight of my feet relatively the same. And from here, I'm just moving a weight towards the direction I'm shifting my hips. Again, it does take some time to get used to. Go slow with these. And again, you can even just go with the weight of your body here. You're still going to feel that stretch in that glute med. But exercise number 2 are going to be lateral high knees. If you're people who are in class, we can use our mat as a little border of how far you're going to go left and right. At home, just set up an imaginary border or put some kind of landmark. But basically, like the name suggests, we're going to be doing high knees, but moving laterally. So we're going to be driving the knees up towards the chest, making sure we're staying tall up top. We don't want to bring our chest down to our knees. I want to keep the upper body tall as I drive the knee up. And again, whatever your markers are, you're going to go towards one direction, stop towards the other. Now, if you don't want to do high knees, you don't feel comfortable jumping around, you can just do marches here. Just make sure they're a little bit more quicker marches versus a slower march here. So try to keep it moving the entire time. Exercise number 3 are going to be split stance dumbbell rows. Just going to use one dumbbell for these. Whatever leg is forward, in this case, my left leg is forward, I'm going to have my dumbbell on my left side, just like this, right on the side of my leg. So it's not too far out, it's not in front, right over to the side. And from here, I'm gonna hold this subtle hinge position. From here, I'm just gonna row with my dumbbell while holding this split stance position. If you want, you can have your free arm right in front of you to kind of act as a counterbalance here, but this is what we're shooting for. Staying square, I'm not letting myself shift or lean over to the side. Again, split stance position, so most of the weight in that front leg, back leg, I'm on my toes, heel off the ground. Dumbbell is gonna be on the same side as the leg that's in front. And again, we're just holding this position as we row. I'll let you know when to switch sides, so make sure you're keeping track of your reps. Exercise number 4, it's gonna be a single arm rear delt fly. So basically, you're gonna wanna go light with these. We're gonna go into a hinge position as parallel to the ground as you can. For me, it's about here. Free hand, I usually like to just keep it on my core, but you can also keep it out to the side. But basically, like the name suggests, with the one dumbbell, you're gonna open up to the side, doing this rear delt fly while holding that position. Again, I'll let you know when to switch sides. Last but not least, we're just gonna do a weighted glute bridge. So whatever weights you have, use the heaviest weight you have. You're gonna hold the weight on your hips. I kind of support the weight a little bit. I don't just let the weight sink into my hips. With my hands, I'm kind of holding the weight slightly above the hips, or if not, supporting it just a little bit. And from here, like the name suggests, we're just gonna glute bridge up, hold for about a second or two, controlled coming down. As soon as you come down, as soon as you make contact with the ground, try to pop right back up and keep that pace right over here. So you can go as slow as you want to coming down, but as soon as you touch the ground, make contact, try to pop the hips right back up. But those are the 5 exercises. Any questions? No? All right, let's go ahead and get set. Time is 12:50, 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna go into our hip shifts. Again, take your time with these. You can go body weight or with the weight. And we're on. Again, we're just shifting the weights side to side. Hand or dumbbell is gonna move towards the side that we're shifting. So if I'm shifting my weight to the left, I'm gonna move my hand towards the left side. Again, opposite side hand. And take your time with these. Get that stretch in that glute. Feel it in the hips. Nice and controlled. Again, the entire time your feet are staying glued to the ground. You're not lifting your hips. You're just shooting the hips from side to side, shifting the weight side to side. Exercise number 2, lateral high knees. Again, make whatever landmark you need to. We'll go to the right and then right to the left and just keep it moving side to side. Again, high knees or marches. Well, let's be ready to go. And we're on. Chest stays tall. Nice and controlled. You do not need to take big steps to the left or the right. You can just kind of gradually move towards one side. Again, stay tall up top. Drive the knees up as high as you can. Almost there. And relax. Solid job. Take a little breather. 15 more seconds. We got our split stance dumbbell row. Again, whatever leg is forward, in this case, my right leg, I'm going to have my right arm with the dumbbell and rowing here. Free arm can just be straight down in front of you to act as a counterbalance. The core stays tight, holding that split stance position. Again, keep track of your reps. I will let you know when to switch and switch. Left leg forward, left arm with the dumbbell, or vice versa if you started on the left side. Fight to hold your position. Squeeze that shoulder back. Even out the reps and relax. Solid job. Exercise number 4, single arm rear delt fly. Again, hinging as low as you can. Just one arm directly to the side, using the back of the shoulders. Again, keep track of your reps. I'll let you know when to switch. And we're on. Only go as far as that delt will take you. Go light with these. and switch. Don't worry too much about the range of motion. With the rear delt flies, you're not going to get very high, and that's perfectly fine. Only go as far as the rear delt will take you. And relax. Solid job. Last but not least, weighted glute bridges. Again, as soon as you make contact with the ground, drive those hips right back up. If you only have a really heavy weight, feel free to go body weight or just take your time with each rep. And we're on. Squeeze the glutes. Drive the hips by squeezing the glutes. Once you make contact with the ground, right back up. This exercise really forces you to use the glutes to extend the hips. Just like when we do an RDL, coming back up to the top position of an RDL, our hips move forward by squeezing the glutes. This time we're using the glutes to bring our hips up towards the ceiling. And relax. Solid job. One round down, 2 more to go for block number 3. Gonna go back into our hip shifts. Adjust the weight as needed. 10 more seconds. Almost there. Time is 12:55. So we'll be a little bit over. And we're on. Shifting the weight. Again, once you hold your hinge, keep that same position the entire time. And we're just shifting our weight from here. Take your time. Let's finish strong. And relax. Solid job. Next up, lateral high knees. Again, stay tall up top, using the lower half to drive the knee up. Don't let yourself drop down, even if that means you go a little bit slower. Again, I don't care about the pace that we're moving, as long as we're staying tall up top. And we're on. And again, you can go from high knees into marches if you're getting tired, or if you feel like you're gonna lose your position, switch over to those marches. Ooh. And relax. Solid job, solid job. I know, it burns. Almost there. Split stance rows are next. Again, just a subtle hinge, about a 45-degree angle. It's as far down as you have to go. But let's be ready to go. Again, whatever leg is forward, dumbbell is going to be on that side. That back leg, we can balance the toes on the ground for that back leg. Nice and strong. Ooh. And switch. Again, even out the reps. Squeeze the shoulder back. Almost there. If you find that you have some extra time, you can take that extra break. A solid job, everyone. And relax. Next up, we got our single arm flies. Again, go lighter if you need to. One arm at a time. Make sure once you hold your hinge and you're going into your fly, you're holding the exact same position. You don't want to start to raise up as you go into your fly. And we're on. Nice and controlled. Take your time with these. Not an easy one. And switch. About 6 to 8 is a good rep range to shoot for. Once you even out your reps, go ahead and relax. Just got one more exercise for the block or for the round. Sorry, don't get too excited. For the round. Weighted glute bridges are next. 10 more seconds on the ground. Be ready to go. 5 more seconds. Weights on our hips, feet in place. And we're on. Squeeze the glutes. Controlled coming down. Right back up. Almost there. Again, once you make contact with the ground, try to pop right back up. Keep it in the glutes. Keep squeezing the glutes to drive the hips up. Only go as far as those glutes will take you. Almost there. And relax. One more round to go. Last block right here. Time is 12:59, so we're going to go a little bit over. Almost there. Last round. Last block for today. Going to go back into those hip shifts. Let's be ready to go. Again, just a subtle hinge. Nothing too crazy. And we're on. Nice and controlled. Take your time. Get that stretch in that glute. Whatever side we're moving the hips towards, that's where we're getting that tension in the glute. Almost there. Let's finish. Keep driving that knee out. Don't let the knees cave in. And relax. Solid job. Next up, lateral high knees. I know, everyone's favorite. Pace yourself, 10 more seconds. Whatever pace you can maintain, whatever march we can maintain, as long as we're moving. And we're on. Nice and strong. Last round right here. So we're gonna finish strong. Again, whatever pace works with us. You can go faster at the beginning, slow down for a little bit, and then ramp it back up. As long as we're keeping it moving. Almost there. Stay tall up top. Drive those knees up. Woo. All right. Almost there. Hardest part is done. Split stance rows are next. 10 more seconds, and then we're on. Solid job, everyone. Almost there. 5 more seconds. Again, whatever wet leg is forward, weight will be on that side. And we're on. Squeeze that shoulder back. Keep track of your reps. About 8 to 10 would be a good range. And switch. Again, add more time if you need to. Keep that core tight. Stay nice and balanced. And relax. Solid job. 2 more exercises. Rear delt flies are next. Again, hold your hinged position. Almost there. We're going to finish strong. 5 more seconds. Pushing through. And we're on. This is how we get stronger. Pushing through the burn. Almost there. It's going to be worth it. Again, keep track of your reps. And switch. Again, take your time. If you need extra time to even it out, that's perfectly fine. If you finish a little bit earlier, take that extra rest. All right, last but not least, glute bridges, weighted glute bridges. Let's finish this workout strong. Let's go ahead and get set and be ready to go. 10 more seconds. Last one for today. Be explosive with the glutes. Strong squeeze. And we're on. Be reactive. Once your glutes touch the ground, right back up. Squeeze the glutes to finish. Almost there. Again, once you touch the ground, squeeze the glutes, control it down, coming down, and right back up. 10 more seconds, last 10 seconds of the workout. Let's finish. 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Solid job, everyone. That is the workout for today. Again, it's never an easy one, but we're always here. We always show up. Thank you guys again for being here. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all next week.